Hello, so before I get into the Gameoverse pilot, I wanted to say hi, I'm Zim. This is my first time doing any kind of commentary. I just figured it might make a fun outlet for me to talk about something that I currently find interesting. I understand that the audio quality isn't great, so sorry in advance about that. I'm just putting it out there in hopes that somebody will find it entertaining, so if you do, that's great. If you don't tell me, you'll make me really, really sad. Slight disclaimer, the title is a bit misleading, as YouTube video titles tend to be. I mean that in the sense that it's not indicative of my opinion as a whole, and it's absolutely not the only point of view I'm going to explore. I liked some aspects of the pilot episode, I didn't like others. I saw that a lot of people online had very mixed feelings about it. So in this video, I just intend to ramble about that, see where some opinions are coming from, maybe talk about which ones I think are more rational than others. I don't intend to attack anyone or harass anyone or dismiss or invalidate anyone's feelings with this. I am just doing this for fun and to maybe provide some good background noise. Because I mean, that's what I use commentary for anyway. But with that being said, let's talk about Gameoverse. If you haven't seen Gameoverse, it's a new, or new-ish by the time I put this out, animated pilot episode from Glitch Productions, and from what I have seen, the main discourse surrounding it is due to the differences between the male and female character designs. This isn't a has-been hotel situation where most of the characters look like they're made of pipe cleaners regardless of gender, but rather the male character designs are very varied, but the female character designs lack that same variety, and there are obvious reasons why this would take away from the experience for a lot of viewers. Women are objectified constantly, and Gameoverse has what could very easily be considered fan service. I'm not going to deny that at all. I used to be big into games like League of Legends and Overwatch, and they have the same issue. Male characters get to look cool, and then the female characters are almost always busty humanoids. It's a tale as old as time. For me, though, it's not the end of the world. I'm not trying to say that any discomfort surrounding the character designs isn't valid, but rather it just means maybe the show isn't for you, and that's okay. I enjoyed other aspects of it enough just to kind of accept the character designs begrudgingly and hope that there'll be more variety once more episodes come out. I don't like the fan service, but it doesn't make the show intolerable to me, and I don't think it deserves the level of criticism or negativity that it's getting online. There's a difference between constructive criticism versus trying to turn this into a moral debate. It's like you can't just dislike something anymore or have different opinions. People argue their opinions like they're objective facts. Like, fan service is bad, this is bad. If you enjoy it, it makes you a bad person, when that's not really how it works. A lot of these arguments really come full circle. They argue against objectification, but then actively participate in it. They call the female characters Guna bait. It's just kind of gross. I've seen a lot of people say that the female characters have no personality, that they don't get to be as funny or interesting as the male cast, and they're only there to look attractive, which isn't true. I think it's understandable if you don't like them as much because their designs make you uncomfortable, but most of the posts I've seen would rather say that they're written worse because of it, or like they're nothing but their designs. In essence, treating it like the show was written maliciously, in a way, which I don't believe it was. It absolutely does perpetuate misogyny in some aspects, but I don't think it was done with the intention to do that, nor do I think that's all there is to it. I think it has merit outside of that, and that a lot of media unintentionally perpetuates misogyny, and trying to define the whole show based on the female character designs just doesn't really feel fair to me, I guess. I thought the writing for the female characters was fine. It's a pilot episode, or episode 1 depending on how you view glitch pilots, and it was never going to be incredibly in-depth, and I think for what it is, it gets the job done. A lot of facts are established that actually position the female characters above male counterparts in their stories. Kit is the protagonist, and Caboodle is the deuteragonist. She's the hero, he's a sidekick. And with regards to misinformation and Fold, she looks to be above him in the chain of command, and she's a lot more competent. Kid specifically has a full backstory and surprisingly even some level of development across the course of the episode, and she has moments and lines which I found to be pretty funny. She's shown to be kind and earnest and acts as a foil to Caboodle's blunt, rude nature, and she has character. Even though I liked Caboodle a lot, I enjoyed Kit just as much in any scenes they shared, and even more so outside of that. The same can be said for misinformation. I found her a lot more entertaining than a lot of the male cast, like Flappers or Gobbles, mostly because I found them annoying and that's just a me problem, and I really enjoyed how collected she was compared to Fold. There's less about her because she's not a main character on the same level as Kit, but her personality was well established nonetheless. Kind of reminded me of Jessie from Pokemon, who's an icon, let's be honest. She was smug and snarky and very clearly different in personality to Kit, regardless of the fact that they were both designed to be conventionally attractive. Whether or not you enjoy their writing is up to you, and I'm not here to tell you that you have to, but it's not reasonable to just say their personalities don't exist at all because of the characters' body types. They also aren't portrayed as weaker overall or dependent on the male characters. Yes, there are some scenes where they're restrained, and yes, that is fan service, but I don't think they're presented as helpless damsels by any means. If anything, Misinformation is shown to be a lot smarter than Fold, and Caboodle is literally a tool or sidekick to Kit. She spends most of the episode trying to save him, not the other way around. They have different strengths in combat to those characters, probably due to the fact that they're not the same species as them. It's even pre-established that Gobbles, who is a male character, is physically weak and relies on learning, and Misinformation seems to have a similar position to that regardless of their genders. Treating the designs with this level of gravity and acting like sexualization ruins the entire character or makes it wrong to like the show, perpetuates exactly what they're trying to condemn by willfully ignoring personality or worth outside of appearances. Yes, I wish there was more diversity across the female cast, and yes, I think the background characters' designs really emphasize the lack of thought put towards that. But no, I don't think Kit and Misinformation were written without care or were written badly compared to male counterparts. They get to be just as funny and they aren't characterized any less clearly. All in all, I think it's just too early to condemn the show or its writing. None of the characters are incredibly deep or developed because it's one episode. If it goes on and the female characters distinctly lack any development compared to the male characters, that would really suck, but it hasn't happened yet and people are acting like it has. Like, yeah, it has its issues, I'm not going to pretend it doesn't, but I don't think they're this bad or egregious. If anything, I'd say another idea that flies a little bit too close to the sun is the complete denial of any fan service at all. That mostly shows up through people saying stuff like, oh, it's just a woman in a swimsuit, you're weird for seeing it that way, or women can dress however they want, you're wrong for perceiving it in a sexual light. And while that's absolutely true in real life, that logic doesn't apply when the women are cartoon characters. Okay, so I'm not going to delve too much into the fiction versus reality debate because that's a huge, very chronically online can of worms, but it's not outlandish to say that cartoon characters don't have agency over their appearance. You'd think this would be obvious. They were designed with intent to appeal to certain audiences, and women in media are very often objectified through this. People find them attractive because they were designed to be conventionally attractive. It's not the same as when a woman chooses what to wear or can't help her body type because, and I'm gonna hold your hands when I say this, they are cartoon characters. They're drawings. There's no hidden feminist agenda in that two-piece. I'm a woman myself, if it wasn't exceedingly obvious from listening to me talk for like 10 minutes, and there is definitely media that I dislike because of how women are portrayed in it, and because that's all I can notice in it. I do think the character designs should be criticised to some extent. I just think that the way people are going about it is kind of wrong. If there's a time to criticise a show, it definitely is when the pilot episode comes out, because that pilot episode is made to see how the show is received. So yeah, point out the lack of diverse body types, but you can do that without shitting on the whole thing. As I said, to me, the designs don't take away from the characters or personalities, but I also won't act like it's not there because it's going to affect some people's views on the show. It's okay to enjoy it in spite of the fan service or even to some extent because of it. It's also okay to not find the characters attractive or to even actively dislike their designs. In fact, I think a lot of the redesigns I've been seeing around are pretty fun. I just think that regardless of what you think of the characters, you don't then apply real values to fictional characters and situations and then try to position your opinions as right versus wrong when nothing worth this level of controversy is actually going on. If the characters were underage or something, maybe I'd get it, but you know, they aren't, so... In a way, the fan service aspect was better integrated into the episode than it would be in a lot of other media, especially anime and video games, which Gameoverse clearly takes inspiration from. It didn't feel like any plot or story was put on hold to say, look at this hot visual, rather it was made to fit within its context without disrupting the flow of events. And obviously those contexts are written and not naturally occurring, and that can be criticised. If you didn't like them, fair play and power to you. I just don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. It's probably a lot easier to notice it if you aren't enjoying the show overall as much, but I was interested in the story well enough and I didn't think about some scenes as fan service until after I saw posts, like, calling it such. Or maybe I'm just not very observant, I don't know. I made this video because I want to give the show a chance. I'm looking forward to seeing where it's going, and I think it kind of sucks to see so many people collectively trashing on a project like this. Even if you didn't find it groundbreaking, the facts are it's an animated show that a lot of artists put a lot of time and effort into. And in this day and age where AI slop is like literally everywhere, I don't think dragging new works like this before they've even formally started is the move. We've seen an attractive humanoid male character who follows very similar design conventions to the female cast, and we also haven't met every character yet. I think the show has potential, and it would be best to give it time to develop and flesh itself out before chalking up to goonbait slop or hating on people for liking it. I agree that it sucks that all of the female characters have very similar body types so far, but there isn't anything wrong with characters being curvy in of itself. Side note, no, I'm not going to count Crab Girl as a diversity point for the female cast. She's treated like a joke, and that makes me sad because I think she's really cute. I'm glad she got a figure though, and I'm choosing to view her as proof of concept that they are at least capable of making girls look interesting. I do get that a lot of the hate at the moment comes from a place of disappointment, and that's not unreasonable by any means. It's just not something I personally relate to. I went in with pretty low expectations because it's Glitch and I haven't really enjoyed their other releases, but I actually enjoyed the humor, concept, and story a lot more than I thought I would. Probably because of Jay Schlatt, but like, that's besides the point. In conclusion, I think just learn to give things a chance and also learn how to agree to disagree. Both purity culture and objectification in relation to this show are wildly out of hand. I promise somebody wanting to screw the 26-year-old catgirl isn't the biggest fish we have to fry, nor is it a crime if someone wants to draw her in a different outfit or redesign her for fun. And if anything, even as someone who is attracted to women, I have other characters on my mind. Anyway, I'm excited to see more of this show, and I hope that this video offered new perspective for anybody watching it. I know it wasn't crazy deep. I didn't want to make it too cumbersome for myself since this is my very first time trying anything like this, but hopefully if I keep it up I'll improve. Okay, that's all. Thanks, bye, love you. I just lost the game.